Hey guys, Byron D0 here, and it has been quite a week on the internet. For those of you who might be living under a rock, looks like Channel Awesome, formerly known as that guy with the glasses, has imploded. Um, Things have gone off the deep end with a lot of producers creating this 70 plus page document airing various grievances on Google Docs, and apparently these are conversations that have been going on for a while now via Twitter. But then so many have left. There's been such a mass exodus from the site that these producers, former producers, decided that it was time to make this a little more public. And oh boy, it has been a shit show. So I decided to put in my 2 cents. So I'm going to do a live reading of the abridged version of the not so awesome document. It's important that this gets out and that fans know about this, just so anybody who makes videos now that's thought about joining the site, that they find out about this and make their own decision. So, without further ado, here is my reaction to the abridged version of Not So Awesome. Alright guys, so here we have Not So Awesome, the massive 60 plus page document of all the various grievances of former producers of Channel Awesome. So I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to read the manifesto from the actual document, and then I will read from the abridged version, because if I read the entire thing, we'd be here all day. Okay, Not So Awesome. A record of events while working for that guy with the glasses. There are many different grievances that need to be shared, but the following points are what we feel are the most grievous and should be known by the public above all others. This is for a record/organization to help clarify and inform. This is not about defamation or destruction, but about clearing the air and correcting misconceptions. And for an abridged, simplified account of all grievances, please refer to the condensed version, which is what I'll initially be reading from. But let's go to the forward. Thank you for taking the time to read the content of this document. Within its many pages are lengthy stories from a number of contributors airing their grievances about the way they and others were handled by working professionally with Channel Awesome and the management, namely Mike Machoud, Doug Walker, and Rob Walker. Although the descriptions are vast, this very likely does not cover every possible story of mismanagement over the course of the last 10 years. There are other content creators, both those who were previously partnered with Channel Awesome and those who continue to be partnered with Channel Awesome, who have not contributed their stories to this document. Though many of their stories can be found in other places if you look hard enough. Yeah, this is getting pretty bad, guys. There we go. The numerous reasons why any of us would want to share these stories with you. No, there are numerous reasons. The biggest one is simply a strong common belief that the public deserves the right to know about the dealings within the company. So just a little break up in my reading because I'm not doing the best job. Apologies. They're not trying to destroy the channel per se. That was never their intention. They despite what some people might believe, this is not sour grapes. This is just them saying we want our fans to know that why we left. They want to know why. They want them to know. They don't want there to be any misconception anymore. They're just they believe that they just want an apology, and the only way they can do that is by letting people know what they've been dealing with. It's not that hard, and again, just want to take a little break from my poor job of reading. There are numerous reasons why any of us would want to share these stories with you. The biggest one is simply a strong common belief that the public deserves the right to know about the dealings of this company. When much of this is finally becoming greatly public in the middle of March 2018, many people wanted answers to many different questions. And while it seemed like our Twitter feeds were containing all these answers, Twitter is not an especially easy to read format. Especially when it branches and splinters when new people join the conversation. That's true. The number one reason to create this document is to give the audience one solid place to be able to read all these stories. Updated directly by former content producers so that you have the most accurate information directly from us. Many may wonder the ultimate goal of releasing this document. The goal may be different for each contributor. Some may wish simply to get this information off their chest after having held on to it for many years. Others may want the management of Channel Awesome to answer for their many egregious behaviors over the last decade. One goal many contributors share in this is the hope that Channel Awesome would both acknowledge and apologize for their behaviors. Again, that's been a common theme I've seen from many videos from former producers. They just want them to admit what they did. They don't necessarily want any kind of litigation, any kind of payback or whatsoever. They just want an apology. And unfortunately, this is not uncommon in even bigger companies. This, like, Channel Awesome, at the end of the day, is a small company. They had a lot of employees, but they were even in their prime, they were nowhere near the success that YouTube had at that time, or even has now. Pardon the yawning. My sleep schedule's out of whack. However, we do not necessarily expect that apology, as nice as that may be. Perhaps the best we can hope for is acknowledgement of any sort. good or bad. If that's not possible, then certainly we all hope by telling these stories we are able to protect other innocent people from having to experience anything like this in the future. Whether that may be in the form of a contributor or a fan, none of us want anyone else to go through the kind of treatment we went through over 10 long years. Some behavior being worse than others. We believe that whether you're working with Channel Awesome or other similar entertainment or another similar entertainment entity, there will be people in this world who don't actually care about who you are and what you're and are more willing to say whatever they need to say or do whatever it takes to use you for your gifts and your talents to boost themselves without giving you a second thought. We hope that other people considering partnering with an entertainment group will take our stories as a cautionary tale and use our stories to protect themselves as they join the vast world of content creation. As a personal note, I often regret not speaking up about things I witnessed any sooner than I did. Perhaps now is too little too late, but if we can help you make heads or tails of this now, today, then maybe the time is right for us to do the right thing and tell you what we've been through. Thank you for taking the time to read these stories about our times at Channel Awesome and the management of Mike, Doug, and Rob. We wish all of you nothing but the best, and to use our pages to reach your own logical conclusions for yourselves. Caitlin Cicero, Mars Girl, April 2nd, 2018. So one might argue that the April Fool's joke is that Channel Awesome was actually a great company to work for. So, I'm going through the abridged version. No, this is not the abridged version. Let's go to the abridged version. I am embarrassed. Don't mind me. There we go. Loading up. Condensed. Alright. Number 1. This is a grievance author page. Mike Machoud, current CEO of Channel Awesome, has a history of being unprofessional, aggressive, immature, difficult, and misogynistic. Contributors to that claim: Allison Pragler, Caitlin Cicero. Sorry, Mars Girl, if you're watching this, I apologize. Holly Brown, and for those of you who don't know, Holly Brown was the former head of PR at Channel Awesome. She wasn't a producer, but she played a big role, and judging by many accounts, probably one of the nicer people in the brass of Channel Awesome. Louis Lovog, Linkara, Benjamin Daniel, Benzai, Dr. Gonzo, Leon Thomas, Ann America, Tom White, Lindsay Ellis, and Anonymous 2. Someone who wished to not have the name present with this. Number 2. The management of Channel Awesome was aware of sexual misconduct and abuse instigated by Mike Ellis, the CFO at the time, and enacted no disciplinary action until over a year later. Sean Foles, Allison Pregler, and Holly Brown. Yeah, apparently Mike Ellis had been hitting on Sean Fowles of Epic Fail for a long time. And at the time that Sean had brought it up, Mike Machado had known about it for a while and just basically said, "God damn it, not again!" So it's like, la 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 la. Real professional, Mike. They were also aware of sexual misconduct by another producer years later, again not acting for over a year. At least 3 victims have come forward and requested that the offender's name not be printed. Lindsay Ellis, and Anonymous 1, page 65. Number 3, Doug Walker, the nostalgia critic, is considered talent and not any acting managerial role. Yet has been involved in many company decisions and knew what management knew. As far as is known, he also made sweeping decisions regarding the site that had the potential to drastically affect the income of many producers without consulting them beforehand. Now, number 3 is important because a lot of that has to do with the final anniversary film they did called To Boldly Flee. For those of you who don't know, To Boldly Flee was the last film that they did together as a group, and this was also a point where Doug planned on killing the nostalgia critic. And the fans didn't know about this, and everyone except for Doug, Rob, and Mike those were the only 3 people that knew about it. Apparently, they told the rest of the cast in a wrap up dinner, like after the fact. They were all given letters, and Doug announced it. So they were all like super scared about their futures on the site. I mean, I would be too, because this site was their livelihood. Moving on. Number 4. Management of the site was of poor quality, particularly in regards to communication, organization, rule consistency, payment, and transparency. Multiple attempts to bring serious concerns to management regarding this were met with very few, usually minimal attempts to repair. Allison Pregler, Gillian Sacedo, Holly Brown, Louis Lovog, Benjamin Daniel, John Burdick, Dr. Gonzo, Leon Thomas, Beth Elderkin, Safira, Topher Ames, Ann America, Tom White, Lindsay Ellis, and Anonymous 2. Number 5. At least one staff member was asked to work every single day with no holidays or weekends. She was terminated and not given reason and forced to sign an exclusivity contract barring her from working in the industry for 3 years at the risk of losing her severance pay. Holly Brown. Wow. Just wow. Number 6. When Channel Awesome ran a crowdfunding campaign, it was so mismanaged that they were threatened with an investigation by Indiegogo. They then canceled the funded show with 12 episodes of The Promised 40. Yeah, I didn't know about that until this year. I remember when Doug mentioned that in a post Nostalgia Creek video that he was working on a game show. He did like a part of his big announcement, and I don't know. This was about the time when I started losing interest in the site, so I never really looked into it. But yeah, I guess that game show never went well because they couldn't handle the shit. But I digress. The filming of the anniversary movies and crossovers, though enjoyed by many producers as a great opportunity and experience, was also fraught with multiple examples of inadequate planning, unprofessional behavior, going beyond a simple lack of experience. To boldly flee in particular was not a pleasant experience for a large number of cast and crew. This can be accounted for by Alison Praegler, Obscurus Lupa, Mars Girl, Holly Brown, and Lindsay Ellis. Again, going back to Boldly Flee. Apparently, from what I've heard, the production for some of these films could be on par with that of The Room. And if you've seen or read The Disaster Artist, you can only imagine how bad that is. Oh, and yep, we're going to the last couple pages here. Number 8. Channel Awesome's management has a history of threatening to drop producers for saying things that they felt would make them look bad on social media and in videos, even when no rules were broken and they weren't mentioned. Alison Praegler and Jacob Chapman, formerly Hope Chapman, who was Yasu Otaku. For those of you who don't know, Yasu Otaku went through transition and wishes to be respected as such. So, just a little side note, trying to be a good ally here. Respect his changes. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Another yawn. Sorry. Number 9. In 2013, there was a big push by many producers to fix the problems with communication and address the possible financial concerns surrounding the sudden loss of the Nostalgia Creek videos. A written document was presented to them, but as mentioned above, many points were either ignored, laughed off, or addressed minimally. Alison Praegler, Lewis Lovog, William Dufresne, that dude in the suede. Number 10. Management had a contentious relationship with producers who tried to increase their revenue via increasing ads or starting up a Patreon. The former was viewed as encouraging ad block. The latter was viewed as e-begging. Alison Praegler was very vocal about about number 10 on her own video, which was kind of my gateway into the hashtag changethechannel movement. Didn't realize it was the same case with Linkar and that dude in the suede, but yeah, that's harsh. Considering that at that time Blip TV was no more, and content creators were trying their best to make as much money as possible. Number 11. Looks like we're getting the final page here. Yep. Number 11. There has been a persuasive feeling amongst the amongst the long-term producers that they are no longer valued or appreciated, and that Channel Awesome cares only for the in-house development. This has been exacerbated by Channel Awesome simply purging the site of any producers that ask to leave without announcement. Where before there was a heartfelt post or even goodbye videos. Yep, that happened to Obscures Lupa. Happened with Mars Girl. I guess Linkara, John, Lindsay Ellis, and a couple others. So yeah, this is the abridged version. I will leave a link to this and the actual document in my contents, in my comments. I mean, and I just want to say I don't any remaining contributors on Channel Awesome, I don't want them to get attacked. Anyone that might have left and not said anything, don't attack them either. The only ones that need to be really held accountable are Doug and Rob Walker and Mike Machado. I mean, Machado's kind of has like a lot to do with these problems. Even if Doug wanted to, he can't necessarily leave because, thanks to a little finagling, Mike Machado owns the Nostalgia Critic. Like, he has all rights. And that might have been why Doug was trying to kill off the Nostalgia Critic, because he wanted to still make reviews and do things, but under his own thing. Unfortunately, it wasn't popular enough for the site. And that sucks. I mean, I feel for Doug in that sense. Like, I met him once in passing at Rhode Island Comic Con, so I feel for them in that way. But at some point, you gotta just ask, what's more important? This IP that you created, or the people that you're hurting? And I guess we've gotten our answer. I'm hoping there may be more to that. I might be wrong. And if I am, and you're watching this, Doug, I apologize. You probably have no idea who I am. You probably couldn't care less. And that's fine with me. I'm just a fan who's disappointed in the company that you work for. But moving on, I came across a document, Follow Your Favorite Producers here, which I will also post in the description below. All these are content creators that have left, but still want to make videos. Most of them are still on YouTube. Some of them have websites of their own, like Linkara. He has his own website. It's a good spot to check out stuff. I highly recommend it. Chad Rocco CR, a fellow artist like myself, love his stuff. Very talented artist. I highly recommend you check out CR stuff. Who else? Oh yes, Chris Ho Evangelist. Yep. Toy collector, reviewer, fellow Tokusatsu fan actually. Highly recommend you check out his stuff too. Rollo T, also a cool guy. Recommend you check out his stuff. Angry Joe, who just left recently. He didn't make a video about his leaving, but he did make a huge Twitter post about it. You know, good for you for sticking to your guns. Holly Brown, I guess she's making stuff too on her site. Again, I highly recommend her. Lindsay Ellis and Linkara still actively making stuff on YouTube. Support their Patreons as well, because, you know, producers gotta eat. Excuse me. Nerd to the Third. Oh, wow, we got a couple more here. That Dude in Suede. Ep by Ep Pokemon Retrospective. Haven't followed this stuff in a while, but I want to get back to his stuff at some point. Yeah, Suede is actually a pretty interesting one because he's while he doesn't throw his faith into his videos. It's a big part of his professionalism. Like, he doesn't swear. He doesn't necessarily got a handle per se. Like, he expresses his disdain and in various videos, but he does it in a way that anyone can enjoy. It's very good family friendly stuff. If you're a geek who's a parent, if you want to show stuff to your kids like this, check out his stuff. And there are plenty of other content creators who are like that. Like, and there's nothing wrong if you're a producer who swears. I swear in a lot of my stuff too. Yeah, family friendly stuff isn't really my jam. But more or less, there are Kyle Cargren. Sorry if I messed up your name. Love your stuff. He used to do one called Brows Held High. He hasn't added to the document because he said in his Twitter post that, like, it triggers him. He's been very upfront about his dealings with depression, and if he doesn't want to share, he doesn't have to. It'll just bring back some traumatic experiences for him. But again, there's no point in me reading all these out because it's right here. And if you want to follow a specific content creator who has left the site, check it out here. Is there anything else? Not really. I gotta say that as someone who once wanted to be a part of the site, this is heartbreaking. That there were people who necessarily just wanted to make stuff because they enjoyed it and because they wanted to do what they love for a living, and there were people who would take advantage of it. It's hurtful, and it just shows you that absolute power corrupts absolutely. So let's all take this as a cautionary tale and a lesson, and in who to trust when it comes to making any kind of content, either in Hollywood or in small companies like this. Not saying it's not possible. This is just one of those details where you lose sight of your vision and you just get eaten alive by it ultimately. Until then, this is Byron D0 saying Ja, Matana. And don't forget to like, share, and comment and subscribe, especially on this video, because I want this to get some traction. This is important. So